I knew there would be scrutiny against me if I competed as a woman. I was prepared for that, but I also don't need anybody's permission. Trans people don't transition for athletics. We transition to be happy and authentic and our true selves.
Transgender swimmer Lia Thomas there opening up about the tidal wave of backlash that came following the decision to compete against biological women at the college level. And Lia now reveals Olympic intentions, saying in that interview, as you just heard, Lia's desire to be authentic and happy is taking precedent over her. Everyone else is pointing out this is unfair for other women athletes. Now Lia's saying that beyond the NCAA, there are Olympic aspirations. Watch.
Are there Olympics in your future?
It's been a goal of mine to swim at Olympic trials for a very long time, and I would love to see that through.
So there you hear it. I think what's important to point out there, and we'll point out for the viewers, we were expecting Caitlyn Jenner in this segment. I think we're having some technical difficulties bringing Caitlyn into this conversation. What's important there is Lia's aspirations reach beyond the national stage into the international stage. And we as a society and as a world will have to answer the question of whether or not one person's feelings should take precedent over fairness for all. I think we're still having technical difficulties bringing Caitlyn Jenner into the conversation. So, I believe, do we have Caitlyn right now? Okay, Caitlyn, I think we got you. There you are, Caitlyn. Glad to bring you into this conversation. I don't know.
Here I am.
There you are. I don't know if you were capable of hearing everything on the lead-in right there, if you were capable of hearing Lia talk about motivations and the approach to women's sports, but I would love to hear your feedback on what you think about that interview from Lia Thomas.
Well, honestly, I thought she did a very good job, and this is not Lia Thomas's fault. She played by the rules and did a good job and played by the rules. Really, my concerns are with the NCAA. Their rules have to be a lot more stringent. I think they have to be more difficult. I don't think just 1 year of hormone replacement therapy is enough. And actually on the ABC special, they even had a doctor on there saying it isn't enough. Even 4 or 5 years on hormone replacements, they wouldn't have an advantage. I mean, I've been on for 7 years of full transition, been on hormone replacement, and I can still hit the golf ball 280, 290 yards. There's a lot left over. And so I'm not blaming her. I'm just blaming the system right now. That has to be seriously looked at.
Yeah, Caitlyn, so, and also, by the way, as we pointed out, that's the NCAA, and we'll still soon be, perhaps, dealing with the IOC as well when it comes to these issues. I want to follow up on a couple of things you said. So, right now, and it's different for every governing body for every sport, but 1 year of hormone replacement therapy is the way that Lia Thomas is being governed. You're pointing out, even if it were 4 or 5 years, there is a biological advantage for a male that went through puberty as a male that never really goes away. Is that your position?
Absolutely. It never really goes away. I mean, in my own life, I've felt that. You know, I always say what I got left over is more than most people ever had. You know, and I think in all trans people that is the case. And 1 year of hormone replacement therapy is not going to make it. You just look at it when she's standing on the line. She's taller, bigger, she's got a longer reach, she's got bigger hands. She has a tremendous advantage over the women. But I respect her right to be able to transition. But I think it's very difficult. You know, she did it to be happy, and she talked a lot about in the interview about being happy. But on the other hand, she may be happy, but I'm sure the girl, the cis girl in the blocks next to her looks over and sees this very large woman who she knows she can't beat. I don't think she's that happy.
Right.
I don't think the person that missed out on making it to the NCAAs by one position, who now all of a sudden doesn't go, I don't think she's happy. If you saw the kind of the revolt of a lot of the people, they kind of believed what I believed. And I've said from the beginning, I don't think biological boys should compete in women's sports. It's just not fair.
Right.
I'm always been out to protect women's sports. And I think we need to do that. And the only way you're going to do that as far as the trans issue is to really look at these rules and find out what is going to work where a trans athlete does not have a big advantage over the cis women, the cis athletes.
Caitlyn, I want to follow up on one last thing. I have very limited time, and you've made this point several times in the interview. You don't blame Lia, you say, and we heard in Lia's words talking about the search for happiness or authenticity. But is there not an inherent selfishness in placing your own happiness over a generalized fairness, as you point out? What about the happiness and authenticity of those female athletes that got second or didn't make the finals cuts? I understand the focus on rules, and we should, but what about the individual athlete? Shouldn't Lia bear some responsibility for this inherent unfairness?
Yeah, she got a tremendous amount of publicity out of this, but I've always felt from the beginning, when I transitioned in 2015, that along with this transition, there also comes an awful lot of responsibility, an awful lot of integrity, and people will be watching on how you deal with this issue and how you treat other people. And I think that's really important. You know, Lia's she's young, just graduated from college. And I think in a lot of ways she's done a good job, but in other ways it's been difficult because, you know, she's been out for her happiness, but the happiness of a lot of other people has not really been considered.
Right. And
so, it's not an easy thing to go through, and to be honest with you, there is no one answer. I don't think there's a right answer right now. I'm interested to see what's going to happen now that she's, said that she's going to look at trying to go to the Olympics.
Right.
The Olympic rules are a little different. And let's just see how she does. You know, it'll be kind of interesting to watch.
Right. Well, Caitlyn, I'm glad we worked through the technological problems. Glad we got your voice in on this conversation. Thank you for getting up early with us in California this morning.
Oh, very early. The sun is not even up yet, Will.
Okay. We'll talk to you next time. Thank you.